Are you one of the thousands of people on the Seacoast who's working from home these days? Well, we are too, and today we're discussing tips and tricks that are helping Dan and I with our work at home. Let's cut to the chase.
Welcome to Cut to the Chase with Jen and Dan. My name is Dan Ferrulo, and my co-host, who is next to me here in this little Zoom box of life that is now almost a ubiquitous thing, is Jennifer Freed. So, hey, Jen.
Hello.
How you doing?
So far so good on this Tuesday. What are we up to? The 14th here of April?
It is the 14th, and you know why I know that? Because I have this challenge that I'm doing at at work that I have to do a video every day. So it is day 14 of this challenge, almost halfway down. It's been a fun. It's been a challenge, but it's fun.
Yeah. What did they say? The days are long, but the weeks are short. Something.
Yeah,
like
actually, oh my God, that's so true, because I literally feel like the days are flying by, but I can't believe that it's only the 14th day that I've been doing a video every day, which is so weird.
I'm enjoying your videos. So
thank you.
As listeners, if you have not tuned into Dan's videos, Dan, tell them where to find them.
You can find them on my Facebook page, Dan Ferrulo Real Estate, or you can find them on my Instagram page, dan.ferrulo, or on YouTube, youtube.com/Dan Ferrulo Real Estate. So they're anywhere.
So that's kind of a good segue into our topic today, which is, tips and tricks for working from home. So you created a challenge for yourself, or this was a challenge that you made with some of your coworkers?
So I actually don't know where it originally came from. I mean, I feel like it's got to be like they may have made it like real estate video every day in April, but it's a big thing, like Veda, VEDA, hashtag Veda. It's like there's lots of different people, I think, that do it. So I don't know where it came from, but our office does it as like a challenge thing, or our company. So there are probably, I don't know, it seems like there's like maybe 10 or 12 agents that I seem to see a lot that are doing one every day right now. So it's actually a cool thing to be doing while we're at home, because it gives me one extra thing to think about, is if I needed a ton more stuff to do on my plate.
Well, what I like about it is that obviously you love interacting with people. It's one of the real reasons you are a realtor, and we're limited in what we can do face to face, but it keeps you interacting with everybody, which you love, in a really creative way. But it sets a mini goal that you can meet, right? So if you said, yeah, I want to make 30 videos, that sounds really daunting, but you have this one thing you're going to do every day, and you just do it, and it's not a lot of time, but adding them all up, at the end of the month, you're going to have a lot of work to show for yourself by doing a small bit every day. And I do think that the days do tend to run into one another, especially when we have these stretches of rain. And so, that really is a good tip number one, which is try to make a game out of some element of your job. If you have any sort of a repetitive task that you do, or a large project, if you can break it down into any sort of a chunk where you're like, I'm going to knock off this one or two little pieces every day or every other day, it'll keep moving you down the game board. You won't feel quite as overwhelmed, and you'll really have a sense of accomplishment at the end. I've read a lot of articles about how, even though we aren't aware of it, just the fact that we're in this new environment is taking up a little bit of our subconscious space that we're not aware of. So we have a little bit less room to do as much as we usually do. So if you're feeling a little bit of a struggle bus, as I call it, that's because your brain's busy doing some other stuff, being aware of other things going on, even if you're limiting yourself, being aware of articles about, COVID and stuff like that. It's taking up space in your brain, and you don't have room to do other things for your job, for example. So tip one, turn things into a game.
Well, and there was something that you said too that I think is another valid tip. We were talking about having a small goal, and I think having goals or intentions for every day is truly something that helps to feel like you accomplished something, or helps me to feel like I accomplished something, because um, it can be daunting to just sit in your house and work all day. And I've been finding that I almost am working more, it seems like, because there's all the learnings that we're doing to try to adapt and adjust. And so I feel like it's almost been like the days they're literally flying by. Like I don't know where they go, and I'm like busy literally the entire time. And so setting a goal, I actually did a video about this a few days ago, talking about my gratitude journal. So every morning what I do is I write down 10 things that I'm grateful for, and then right below that I also like write out some intentions for the day and some goals and stuff, so that I can even if it's just like, all right, I'm gonna talk to five of my past clients, or that type of stuff. Even if it's not a crazy goal, at least it's something to work on and try to accomplish. So I guess that's tip number 2: create some small goals that you can work on every day, and they all add up to bigger goals.
Yeah, and don't get hung up on the words. So if the word goal sounds lousy to you, change it to thing I want or to-do list. Whatever you need to call it, change it to that. It doesn't matter what you call it. Make it work for you. I'm a little different than you, Dan, in that I vacillate between two lands. So I am either firing on all cylinders and I am accomplishing way more than a typical day because I am really trying to fill up every inch of time with productivity to kind of keep my mind off things, to keep energized, and that's feeling really good. Other days I feel really logy and I don't feel great, and I'm typically a really highly motivated person and I really am lacking that motivation other days. And again, through some reading, apparently that's a very typical response, just to being in a situation like we are as a nation, as a world. And so I think that if you find yourself in those time periods, you're going to need to get creative about the things that you do need to get accomplished, and some things that you don't need to get accomplished, and not beat yourself up because the next day is going to come and it'll be just fine.
Mm-hmm.
That I guess would be another strategy. I don't know what number we're up to, which is, allow yourself more room for balancing how things are going for you. Someone gave me a great analogy about when you're seasoning your food, you don't just put a whole bunch of salt on there just because you
I do.
want it. Well, just because you want it saltier, like you put some salt on and you taste it to see if it's right. Sometimes you have to start with a couple of things and see how that's working. So instead of saying, I'm going to have this chunk of time for this, then this, then this, then this, start with a quarter of that for a couple of days if you're feeling kind of logy. And if a quarter of that feels good to you for a while, that's how much salt you need on your food. And during this time, that's all right.
It is all right. It is all right to
balanced expectations.
Yeah.
Is part of like a healthy workplace. And it's still gonna move you down the game board.
Right. Well, and it is, it is okay to like not have your goals or not have the things that you're working towards be the same as they were 2 months ago. When Tom Ferry started his pivot thing, he ripped up our old business plans and is like, out the window, got to figure something new out. So, and he said in that first call, he said, it's okay if you're not doing the number of appointments or whatever that you originally had planned, but as long as you're doing something. But another thing that you mentioned, which was important, was you were talking about some days that you feel shitty, I guess is a good way to put it.
Yeah.
And I think we all have the tendency to get like that. I mean, I know that I do every once in a while. And it's all about, for me, it's all about mindset control and like, you know, keeping my head in a positive place and keeping affirmations and all of those things that I normally do. And thank God that I am not super religious, so that's not something that I would normally say. But thankfully, um I practiced that before, so now it's almost like it just helps me to stay in a good place. And so I'm so grateful that I have like that I had put really good, powerful habits in place in the past 2-3 years that are helping me to stay in a positive place now, because I in the past have been um it would not take a lot for me to get down on because of something like this, like not being able to go out and do things, and or having to just be here by myself. Although I mean, I really do love my alone time. I do enjoy spending time with other people as well. And so yeah, I think there's so many things. So what are some things that you do to keep your mindset in a positive place instead? Because I mean, it can definitely be a challenge. So maybe some other people that are listening might be able to pick up different things from each of us of like what helps us.
For me, typically what's bothering me is usually not what's actually bothering me. And once I became aware of that, it was really easy for me to switch my mindset. So let's say I'm concerned about, this is something kind of general that might be bothering a lot of people. Let's say you're worried about your bank account right now. It's a lot easier to worry about what's happening next. In fact, what was the saying I heard today? Something about being regretful about the past and anxious about the future. Like neither is the mindset that you want. So a great way, if that was a struggle, would be to say, I have enough. Today I have enough. I'm all set. Today I'm all set. I don't have a problem today. And it's a good reminder that like speeding the train up,
Like deal with the problem when it comes or when you actually have it.
Now, right? Because the problem in that situation wasn't the tangible, like this minute. It's the what ifs, what if, which can bother a lot of folks. And I'm not minimizing folks that definitely are in that. No, today I don't have any money crisis.
Well, right, and I mean, I don't think that's what you're saying, because
right, but it's a what if thing. You can say like, yeah, no, today that's not a problem.
Yeah.
Today I got enough, and you
Live
just remind yourself of what actually is, and you can let go of all the stuff that doesn't exist because it either happened or you're worried about stuff that isn't in today yet. So sayonara, all that.
Yeah.
And honestly, nothing a good, stretch and a cup of coffee won't fix.
Exercise has been really helpful for me too. I mean, I make do with what I have. I don't have any true workout equipment here, like in the least. I bought a resistance band, and that's like,
yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah, that's like that's the most sophisticated thing that I own as far as working out goes. So, but I mean, just going for a walk every day. I didn't yesterday because it was raining, and I should have, because even when it's raining out and I like go out in the rain and I like bundle myself up, it still like just makes everything feel it's a good way to clear my head, especially because who was I talking to? I was talking to another agent that works in my office on Sunday, and he was talking about how a lot of people like that, a lot of the people in their 20s and 30s who are working from home, like all that they're doing is working because they have a lot to do, but they're like they're going to burn themselves out because they're not taking time to take a break and to like actually like do something for themselves. So, and that I found that it's almost happened to me a few times without even thinking. Like it's like, oh my god, it's 4 o'clock. What did I do? I mean, I like haven't even looked up all day. Like, and like today I was on meetings from like 9 to like 1 o'clock, and after that 1 o'clock I was like, all right, I'm going for a walk. And went for a walk for an hour. I walked like 3 miles, and my head felt so much more. And I mean, the meetings were all good meetings, but it's just like you have such a tendency. And normally when we're in a meeting, like, or when we have meetings scheduled, we have a break in between them, or like we're driving to them, so we like get to clear our heads. And here it's just like, oh, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, you like jump from one to the other, and there's no
No
break.
done.
Yeah.
So let's talk other practical things, like what technology is making your life work really well right now?
This technology right here,
Zoom.
Zoom. I don't think I could live without it. Well, my laptop obviously, but yeah, Zoom, what we're using right now. I mean, I've been using Zoom for the past 3 years with coaching and stuff like that. But um, it's almost, I mean, it's truly is probably one of the most widely used video platforms right now, and it's helping. And I mean, it's so funny because my cousin's family, their 88-year-old grandfather was having his birthday over the weekend, so like they all were like together on there. And it's like, it's crazy that an 88-year-old was on a Zoom call and they were able to figure it out. Not that, but he
Never.
in general is not very technological. And I know like my grandparents, like my grandmother is 85 and she can barely even dial the numbers on her iPhone, because she just doesn't know how to use it and doesn't have any desire to learn how to use it. Like it just, she doesn't care. Um, so it's really awesome that this technology is here for us to help us so that we're able to still, be front and center with everybody and, look at people in the eye. I mean, it's great for work as well. But it's great for, some other things too.
Yeah, I'm using this a lot. I'm also using Google Hangouts.
Oh, are you? I have not used it once.
I haven't used that in real estate as much. I've used Zoom most of all, but I feel like Google Hangouts is pretty quick. And
Is it?
yeah, because essentially it's almost like you just hit a button to call whoever the person is. That's been a good one. What I like about Zoom is that it's really easy to share what's on my screen. So if I want to show you a presentation or the interior of a house, I can do that really easy. My phone has been my friend, I guess, as a realtor. It's always been my friend. I'm starting to do more with video, making videos for people. Usually I either email them or call them on the phone. But now that we're not seeing people, I'm kind of wanting, I guess you and I together have been becoming friends with video over these months, and just saying like, all right, if we're going to record a thing for sound, might as well record it for video as well.
Yeah.
So, I've been reaching out with little video chats and videos for people that I'm working with or I've worked with before, to say hello and see how they're doing. And that's been really, really fun.
Yeah, I love doing
there's
that.
a lot of different gadgets. I mean, it's as easy as, use your camera on your phone and just text it over or email it over. But, some other gadgets you can use for that. So that's been really neat. Establishing a work corner that isn't in any important rooms of my home has been important. So I'm here with 4 other people. So I have my 3 teenage boys and I have my husband. So when we're all working, we have 5 laptops and 5 people on Zoom calls, or watch, they have to watch YouTube for school science thing. So we each need spots to work, but we definitely need spots for family time and relaxing. I don't really want to work in my bedroom because I really want a place that I can turn off.
Yeah.
One of the fun parts about real estate is that every day is different, but one of the downsides is like, when do you stop doing your job?
Yeah, I know.
So, so this is the studio in my home, which is part home office and then part music studio.
Hmm.
That's partially what my husband does for a living. So I like that I have my own space. I like that it's at the farthest end of the house. I have it set up so that, you know, at the end of every day, I have it ready to go for the start of the next with what I want to tackle in the morning. Um, you know, I've kind of isolated everything here instead of hopping all over different rooms, which I did
Hmm.
initially because I was like, oh, let's pretend the living room is a coffee house. Let's pretend the
Hmm.
dining room is this. And I was like, this is not helping me.
Yeah.
So making a formal space, you know, once we were definitely staying in, that has really helped. How about you in terms of your workspace?
So my workspace, I mean, um, it's just me here, so I don't have to there's no one else to um, distract me during working hours, which is probably a blessing and a curse. Um, so I have an office in my house, which I actually just got a new desk a couple months ago. So I'm actually using it a lot more than I probably would have, which is fun.
You can stand or sit.
No, I actually, so my stand-up desk
Oh, you
is
moved.
in Portsmouth. So I haven't been using that. I have been thinking about going to the office in Portsmouth and getting my other monitor so that I can like use both monitors while I'm here. Because I think that that would be helpful in some instances. And uh, but I mean, I like having this be like where I come to work. I have, all my work stuff, and I really like that tip that you mentioned about getting your stuff ready the night before for the next day. And that was a practice that I actually had started doing, I think in January or February, because I was listening to a 5 a.m. call and Byron Lazine was talking about how that was a practice that he had started. And I was like, that makes total sense, because then everything is ready. I know exactly what I'm doing the next day. Then I don't have to be like, all right, you know, what am I doing between 9:30 and 10:30? Or, if I'm not on the phones, like, what am I doing after that? Like, whatever. So I like that. It's a great, and I have kind of gotten away from doing that. I mean, I feel like I have an idea of what I'm doing the next day, but my schedule isn't as rigid as it has been, as it is. And I like routine and stuff like that. So I've gotten away from that a little bit, which is tough. But I do like, I have a separate work area, which really is really helpful for me. And I only come in here to work, and I don't really work in other rooms of my house. I Earlier today I did have to watch a webinar in the living room because Jack stole this chair. I like got up to go make lunch, and I come back and he was sitting right here, and I was like, well, I guess I can go out there in the living room. It was just watching a webinar where like they couldn't see me. I was just watching. So I was like, all right, I guess I can. I actually laid back in the recliner and watched it, which was nice. But typically I'm not. I'm sitting right here, and so feel like I use this room more than any room in my house right now.
Excellent. I guess my last parting comment on this would be that it's so easy to Google how to do things, and there's great ideas, but at the end of the day, it's the way that works for you,
Yeah, for
the
sure.
amount of work that's working for you, the time of day, the setup that works for you. And that might even change day to day because we're in a very interesting situation.
Hmm.
So I think it's great to listen to our ideas and Google for ideas, or copy someone that does what you do. But at the end of the day, whatever you need to do that works for you, be cool with that. because that's how everybody else developed their plan that they're putting out on Google for you to copy anyway. It's what worked for that person.
Right.
And well, like if it's my house, they might not have triplet teenagers like I do. So, that plan might just not work for them. And they
Right.
might not have, cats who steal chairs.
Right.
Like
There's no one size fits all when it comes to a workspace. You want a tailored work
so
environment.
do not beat yourself up about not being able to do it the prescribed way or the
Mhm.
right way.
Mm.
You'll find some stuff that works for you, and hopefully some of our tips, got some creativity going in that area. But
Yeah.
we'd love to hear what's working for you guys in your home offices
Yeah.
or
Let us know what
home
your setup
coffee
is.
shops.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning into the podcast today, guys.
Yeah. Thanks so much. It's been Cut to the Chase. Have a great day.
Bye, guys.